Welcome, 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 waka, 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 waka. I'm in a loop.
He's in a loop.
Welcome to This One Last Podcast. I am Dee Eazy the Slim. Hot boy not having to run summer. Last week I had to run the bad case of the runs. It was crazy. But we are live with you today. Back in effect, I got my two best friends with me. We family. I got my family with me. To my right, I got the fax machine, Breezy.
So, funny you say that because today, when we're recording this, today is National Best Friends Day.
Oh,
Nice.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
Appropriately, it's also National Pick Your Poison Day. So, pick a side.
And to my left and to the right of P. Breezy, we have the man of the hour. I'm just playing.
Like last hour? Or like
We have the one who always online, Ryan B.
I do be online.
Ryan B.
Ryan Bunlin.
How you guys doing, fellas? What's going on in y'all world?
Chilling. Doing it absolutely fantastic.
How's it going with you, Paul Breeze? I haven't seen you in y'all in what, 2 weeks?
Just about.
I'm doing fairly average.
Average at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm mostly well.
Mostly well. Mostly.
Yeah. No heart attacks. Depression is under control.
Not.
Alcohol's going to fix that. Who's that?
Not.
Come in.
What am I drinking?
I don't know. What are you drinking?
I am drinking some Great Value grape, sugar-free mix that's put into eternal water.
I don't know if that's sponsored.
Classy yet trashy.
Yeah, I mean it was classy.
So you got some Great Value drink mix in some eternal pH neutral alkaline water.
Ain't pH no more. It used to be pH. Mr. Breeze, the fax machine. What are you drinking over there, sir?
Round 2 is a beer.
Not just any beer.
What type of beer?
I'm not sure on the pronunciation.
Leffe Blonde.
There you go. Leffe Blanc.
Left in the blonde.
Just say left.
Classy. And for me, I'm going to keep it trashy. Four Loco Grape.
Hey, grape and grape. We in shape.
Cheers.
We not in
Yes, you
shape.
chose your poison.
What makes you go with the
Four Loco Grape.
Yeah.
I choose Four Loco because it is cheap and high gravity. It's 14% alcohol. I chose grape because that's what they had.
You know what I noticed? When Bitcoin is up, my dude is drinking some good stuff.
Who's that?
You?
Me? No.
When Bitcoin is down, let me get that 4 Loco at you.
I'm Dogecoin all the way. To the moon.
So speaking of,
It's still fine.
what are we drinking, Ryan? What's up with your mix show?
I've taken a bit of a hiatus. Just didn't feel like keeping on doing it for a little while. But I'll be back soon enough.
Yeah, in a season 1.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a plan that I have going on as far as for a couple of drinks in the near future. Paul and I went on vacation fairly recently. We went over to visit our friends over on the East Coast. And it was for Shanye's birthday and Paul's birthday. But Shanye's roommate, Helen, works for Ben & Jerry's.
Nice.
And she suggested that I do some drinks based off of some of the Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Nice.
So I've taken that challenge, and I already came out with one video. I have to edit it and get it all together and do all my stuff. But for the, I decided for my first video of it, I was going to go for the King. Mm-hmm. Their probably the most famous flavor, Cherry Garcia.
Cherry Garcia.
Which is an interesting take. I decided to do a variation off of a White Russian, in which I incorporate, I do vodka, 4 different kinds of cherry liqueur, chocolate, creme de cacao, black creme de, dark creme de cacao, and I made a special topping where I use heavy cream and I shake it, whip it up to top it off with some Irish cream and amaretto flavored whipped cream.
Nice.
And it came out pretty good. I feel like it tastes fairly close to the actual ice cream. And next one on the docket after that is Chunky Monkey. And then I will probably do Half Baked. But Half Baked is going to be a challenge because I don't really know how to make it taste like cookie dough. Gonna be yeah. But I've got Chunky Monkey down. I just haven't recorded the video. But I did put a flavor profile together that I think works very well. But
and where can they find these videos when you do put them out? 'Cause
well,
that Garcia,
Cherry Garcia,
that sounds tasty.
It was pretty good. It'll be on YouTube, our YouTube, on This Won't Last podcast YouTube, but it'll also be on our Instagram. I usually tend to do the videos on YouTube first, and then Instagram. Instagram has a limit of 15 minutes, so I have to sometimes chop up the videos a little shorter, but it'll be on both.
Yeah. Maybe we can do some behind the scenes of how you making them. How you get ideal. You just talk about how you got ideal and make them on. Well,
depends on what it is. For something like this, I literally just went out and bought the ice cream and tasted it and ate, a pint.
Well, no, I mean we can put that on there for extra content.
Yep.
So you can find us find you at YouTube.
You can find me on YouTube. Find us on YouTube.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Tumblr, apparently.
At This Won't Last.
Really, if you just Google us, This Won't Last podcast, it's probably the best way to find us. But we also do have a link tree. If you linktree.e/This Won't Last.
You'll find us after you get past the post for last podcast on the left.
And listen, all y'all Apple listeners, we there. That's where we at. We reside at the Apples.
We're on the iTunes, yes.
Yes, we
We're on the
there.
Spotify, yes.
Yeah.
We're on the Podbean, yes.
Yes.
Listen, if we're not on the service you use for podcasts, let me know. I think there's like 2 obscure ones we're not on, but we're pretty much on the rest of them.
Oh yeah.
And if y'all let us know,
we're even on Castbox.
If y'all let us know, we may
Pandora.
or may not buy y'all a drink. We're not gonna buy y'all a drink. It's not gonna happen.
This shit ain't making me money.
I'll gladly send you the recipe for one of Ryan's drinks.
And
I have some sample sizes of random bottles laying around.
Nice.
So if you want some apple, one ounce
Apple.
sample of apple crown, I might be able to help you out.
Nice.
Now, interestingly enough, for the Chunky Monkey, I decided to go ahead and grab the single bottles for that because I didn't want to. I decided to use 99 bananas.
Ooh.
And I didn't really feel like I wanted to get an entire bottle of it. However, after having made it and tested it out, I kind of changed my mind on that, but I haven't gotten a bottle of it yet.
Ryan doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to force him to make a cookbook. A drinking cookbook. What is that called? Drink book?
Recipe book?
Oh, a recipe book. This Won't Last Ryan drink of the online.
See, you're on the cutting edge. The kids love books.
Yeah, true.
If I may play the role of an EP for a moment,
EP?
I would executive producer.
Okay.
I would say some of those ice cream flavors would work better as shots.
Well,
Because you can play it better with being able to do rims and things like that.
yeah.
Without having to do like a full. Because again, I think even like Half Baked, I think there's enough things you could do and make with that,
Yeah.
or just go full factor on it, pudding shots.
Yeah. Well, funny you should mention it. I actually did kind of include an abbreviation of the Cherry Garcia at the beginning of the video, where I just suggested that if you really wanted to do just a shot, you could just layer in a shot of dark creme de cacao, a shot of half an ounce, whatever it is, to fill your shot glass, dark creme de cacao, cherry, and probably Irish cream, or even just regular whipping cream, and that would give you a similar flavor, but in a easier to make and easier to digest. Easier to drink, I should say.
Nice. And as far as me, I got the Happy Good Mornings coming back soon. It's easier for me to do them in the summertime because I just have so much trying to get the kids to school and everything.
Well, the summertime is when the living's
Yes, it's real easy. And then also on
Living's
Fridays, with the Loki series, I will be doing live reactions right after the show. Right after the show. So, and these will be on the live reaction will be on Instagram and Instagram only.
I'm high key looking forward to that.
Right, yeah, and Ryan and Paul, they may or may not be in a couple episodes,
Could be.
depending on how was their work schedule.
Awful.
So that's gonna be fun. So we got a lot of different things coming for you. Paul is still working on his degree in exclusive producing. That's a level up. Y'all don't even know about that yet. When he get to the exclusive producing,
His degree in EP.
it's gonna be over. It's gonna
Exclusive
be
producing.
over. I'm also thinking about doing something with music too, live. I really haven't figured a lot of it out, but I want to work on a country album and I want to do it live.
Let's do it.
Yep. So that's the what the church announcements, what they call it, the everything. Yo, this summer we're gonna have a lot more stuff we're gonna be doing for you guys. We got a lot of stuff in plan, and you're gonna always consistently find the podcast. Always consistent. And remember, you can go to YouTube and on IG to get the clips.
Yep.
If you like dogs barking in the background,
Just the clips.
We got you.
Yep.
We got you, son. All right. So, fellas, let's get into it.
Fellas, yeah.
Let's get right into it.
Grab your left nut and make your right one jealous. All right, what are we getting into, D? Are we getting into the news?
We're going to get into the news.
So, let's start from the top here. We got a little document. Let's go from the top of that. A little bit of news.
This broke my heart.
A little bit.
It broke my heart.
Netflix's series, Jupiter's Legacy, has announced that it's been canceled after just one season.
Freaking cancel culture.
Yeah, right? See what they're doing? We didn't even get to do a review of it. Maybe we'll do that later.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I'm down. I thought, personally, I thought it was excellent. But I understand from my understanding, it cost $200 million to shoot the first season.
Wow.
It did not.
That's what a lot of people were reporting. It could be wrong.
No, they paid $200 million for the rights to the Millerverse.
Okay.
Y'all keep misconstruing that. There's nothing in that first volume.
It didn't look
cost
like
$2
it.
million.
It didn't look like nothing in there.
Every
It didn't
actor-
look like
every
it.
actor in there is a C-list.
Well,
At best.
Dumas.
It wasn't Duval. Good. Oh yeah, sure. But he's a C-list.
Is he? He went. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought after the Transformers.
I mean, he was in
Nobody
like...
became a star from Transformers.
Huh?
Nobody became a star from Transformers.
Tyrese? Well, Tyrese was
No,
already.
Tyrese became a star
He was
for
already.
fucking,
He was already a star.
The beef was about it, but he was already like well known before that. That just blew him up, and then he blew himself up.
So yeah, no, yeah, that number was thrown out there. I thought that was a little weird. What was the number for the first season
For what?
to shoot it? How much they paid to shoot it?
I don't know, $30.
Screen Rant says it did cost $200 million for the first season.
That's the number that I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's the number that I'm hearing. It cost $200 million to shoot the first season.
I mean,
$200 million budget.
That's what the budget
it
is.
doesn't make sense.
That's what a lot of people report. I haven't heard anything else reported but that number right there.
Maybe it cost $200 million because they bought the rights to the Millerverse.
But I thought that was a separate deal though.
Could have been.
Well, the thing is, Netflix really went in on it, and some of the. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, Netflix doesn't have a problem with things costing too much. They just borrow more money.
Well, I guess they got a problem with
You're
it.
greenlit.
But from what I'm hearing, it did bad with the it did good with the fans.
I enjoyed it.
And a lot of fans was like really out trying to get a new season and everything, but they're saying that it didn't do good enough. What Netflix need is not to get more people, but to retain people.
Yeah.
And they
Stop
said it
losing
didn't,
them.
yeah, it just said it didn't do good enough to retain people.
Okay.
So that was a problem. What I'm hearing from everything with it.
That's very curious. So So moving on from that, unless you want to go into your whole review later.
Yeah, well, we can do it now. We need to do a review on that, and we need a review on what's the Invincible. We got to do a review on both of those.
I think we kind of did.
Oh yeah, I did a review. Okay, well, we just need to do a review on that.
So following that, staying in the realm of comic books, which we seem to love a lot, our bread and butter, we got this covered. Has reported that potentially John Barenthal will be returning in his role as the Punisher in Moon Knight on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. First official debut of one of the Netflix MCU characters coming to the actual proper MCU. Interesting. I'm totally fine with John Barenthal as Punisher, although I still maintain that there's a little bit too much Shane in that performance. He doesn't really strike me as a New Yorker type. He strikes me as like a good old Southern boy.
Well, he was one of the fan favorites, which, to be honest with you, didn't hear a lot of bad things other than, what's the dude, the Iron Fist. Like, everybody loved all the other actors. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that makes sense for him to reprise that role.
Yeah, I think the only downside about Bernthal is that he's just too small. But
yeah,
it's not the end of the world again. I mean, him being a 6'2" or 6'5" character didn't define the character. It just helped emphasize how impressive he can be. Yep. To street level thugs and your run of the mill Wolverines.
Yeah. Me personally, I would like to see. I know that that Marvel said they would love to have them back. All of the actors, I would like to see them all back. I mean, I guess Iron Fist is not a fan favorite. I didn't have a problem with Iron Fist. I liked the series. I liked him and Defenders too. The Defenders low key was one of my favorite series.
You are low key wrong. Okay, I will not defend, but I will not attack Iron Fist because they gave him no time to get. Despite giving them like a 2-year lead time, like actual work before the series started was like a few months, which was not enough to turn this random ass kid into a martial artist.
No.
Now, granted, he knew how to a couple years ahead of time. He should have been putting the work in. So that's on him too. But yeah, despite a huge lead time, they did not put the work in for that series that they needed to.
This is a gripe of mine, but I ain't gonna get too deep into it. A lot of the new series that has to do with martial arts or kung fu or anything like that, it don't seem like they take it serious enough to like really do the fight scenes well. And a lot of the new stuff. Back in the days, you go look at the old kung fu films. Ooh, them old kung fu films, they were doing some kung fu.
I'll argue. Like what?
Like, perfect example, let's say the Defenders. Or, I don't want to say Cha-Ching because I ain't see enough. But, like, a lot of the kung fu movies, it's not a lot of, like, true kung fu or true fighting to the styles. And I'm talking about the ones on a bigger level. Now, I will say, some of the low-budget ones, like the one with, what is it, Michael Jai White, they do a good job with the coordinations in those fights, in those movies. It's his movies. But you go back to like the old school movies, man. Like these was like you really thought this dude was gonna die by getting kicked.
Well,
you go.
I would say that part of the big reason for that nowadays is you didn't have the editing technology. You didn't have the ability to just go out there and shoot as much as you wanted. You had to be very conservative with what you were filming.
I get that.
And it had to be done correctly, and it had to be done like real. Otherwise, you wouldn't get a proper shot. And you can see it if you look at some of the bad ones from those eras, where it's like it just looks awful.
Yeah.
Like because they had to do what they had to do and use what they had. And the result was just crap. But when you had actual people who were capable of doing it, you look at your Bruce Lees and things like that, where like physically he's capable of performing these scenes. and he knows his craft well enough to do it in front of a camera, and you have directors and directors of photography that are able to shoot these shots, you get quality results out of it. So now, I don't think it matters as much because of the fact that you can shoot all that you want, but you can edit it a lot to make it look different. One of the big criticisms that so many people have lobbied against a lot of the Marvel films, and I'll admit there's a fair amount of legitimacy to it, is that their fight scenes and their action sequences rely heavily on editing. Especially in things like Captain America and things like that, where it's like, it's legitimate fights. But there's a lot of smash cuts, there's a lot of movement and this and that and the other to cover up everything. The funny thing about that is I feel like they probably did have quality choreography in those things. And I think when you finally see it in the Netflix shows, the fact that Marvel didn't really know what to do with films like that at the time showed through. But when you had directors like the people from Daredevil and everything, and they were doing like the hallway scene that was highly, regarded, then you see the quality. But then you move it over to the Defenders series, you move it over to Iron Fist, where I don't think they knew what they were doing with that. You can tell. But
Paul?
Well, Defenders I won't attack or defend, because of the 4 characters there, again, of the 4 characters, the problem still is Iron Fist. Because he's a thundering idiot. He's a terrible. He got no practice even for that series. But you have one girl. You have Jessica Jones, who is not a trained fighter. She just punches hard.
Yeah.
You have Luke Cage, who is not a street fighter, just punches hard, and gets punched without feeling it. And then you have Daredevil, who Charlie Cox put in the work, and you can see it. And again, to his benefit too, the way his mask, his costume is, you can have his stunt actor in there, and you maybe wouldn't tell. So that helps too. And again, I think there was a lot of the Daredevil seasons that did really well with the fighting. There are shows like Warrior that has fantastic fighting. And it's, again, some shit to go up against, because it's based on stories from Bruce Lee, and they make comparisons throughout the series.
Well, I was more talking about the movies, though.
Well, those aren't movies.
What?
the Netflix shows.
No, I bring up the movies. I bring up Joe High White. I was bringing the movies.
Michael Jackson.
He brought up the Netflix shows.
We're talking about Netflix.
No, we're talking about the Netflix shows.
No, but I was talking about the movies. I said in movies.
What movies?
And I said in movies nowadays, they don't take. I don't feel like they take karate serious enough, or they don't take the fighting style serious enough. In the shows, I feel like they can because they have more time.
I would still there's always going to be the movies that take the easy way out with smash cuts and quick edits, and it's jarring and it makes you feel sick. Again, I think because Corridor Crew, they have a series of videos in there called Stunt Men React, or Stunt People React. And one that came up that is cringy for all stunt actors is a fight scene from one of the Jason Bourne movies, where in a 15-second fight or 30-second fight, there's 40 edits.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's jarring.
That's
you can't
crazy.
See anything.
That's crazy.
It's quick action. It feels very tense because of the way the music and the cuts are, but you don't see anything. Nothing. There's no impact. Whereas you have movies even again, I'll defend it here. Mortal Kombat had a lot of great fighting, especially stuff with Joe Taslim and your boy Scorpion. Again, the John Wick series using Gun I think there's a lot more movies where there's a lot more movies where stunt.
It's a real thing.
Where choreographers and stuntmen are taking charge. They're either making their own films or they're put in charge. Like the movie Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. It was directed by a stunt coordinator.
That movie was good,
and it was solid. Again, there are plenty of movies that because the problem you get is that you have a studio, if they don't believe in a project or they don't. These things take time to do a proper fight coordination. Unless you have people who know each other very well and they're working nonstop, which doesn't happen super often, it takes time to build familiarity. And you only fight. Y'all just stop. But
No, I just thought about something that he showed me.
But like I said, it takes a lot of time to coordinate those fights. Because again, for a 2-minute fight that's gonna look awesome, it may take like 4 weeks to really like from start to finish. That's just like going through the motions. That's not even like designing the fight like, offhand. And that's it's a relationship with the director, the choreographer, and the actors, and the stunt people. It's a huge collaborative effort.
You know, it was a great movie that had the greatest fight scenes in like the last 30 years to me.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah.
The Protector.
Protector was great.
You showed me that.
Yep.
Dude, the fight scenes in that, bro. When he was fighting up that staircase.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me stop. Cause I'll be
Tony
nerded
Jaa.
out. I'll be done nerded out with Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa. And one that recently I watched featuring your boy Joe Taslim. The Night Comes for Us. Watch that one. It's very gory, but it is cool as fuck. Like, and it is like a lot of this like single take fight scenes type deal. There's a scene in which like I don't really want to like get into spoilers, although the plot is not really its biggest focus. There's a scene in which like the guys. Like the main character's like friends that he grew up with that he's come back to see after he basically turns against his Yakuza people to save this little girl, and they like put him up in their apartment or whatever. They shelter him. All these gangsters come to fight them. Mm-hmm. And like there's just this scene of just nonstop fucking violence in which these guys are like fighting against each other, and they're using like knives and shit against each other, and like stabbing each other and like cutting each other's throats and shit, and like his group of friends is just like struggling to survive, but like a lot of them make it, a lot of them don't. But it's just like it's all these big fucking moments, and they're all like coordinated so well, and they look good. And it's like they don't really rely on smash cuts and things like that, but I'm hoping that they get a lot of that going on in the near future here, especially with Shang-Chi. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I understand, and I think another problem is these actors are doing different 2 and 3 movies at one time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're doing a lot of different projects at one time, so they can't really like focus.
Not
on
Marvel actors. They got they got those contracts on lock. They're like, nope, you're doing this.
True, that's true. That's true right there. But Marvel does everything. It does everything right. Mm-hmm. They rarely does stuff wrong. What's that show? I'm trying to think of that show that was on FX.
Legion?
No, it was the karate with your boy.
Into
Into the
the Badlands.
Badlands. I used to. Oh, I love that show, bro. That was my show, bro.
I never really watched it. I watched the first episode and I was like, eh. But
all the fighting scenes in there. It had like that goriness too, like that goriness that you would have loved.
There's like people getting stabbed and hands cut off and things like that.
Yeah, it had a very. I watched a few episodes and it had a Tarantino feel to it.
Cool. Yeah.
Grindhouse.
Well, just I think it was going for a style more than anything. Like it was very like.
It's Tarantino to a T.
Yeah, it was very like feudal steampunk.
Yep.
It was a very weird feel to it. I never really felt comfortable because it still felt like a fantasy world.
Yep.
Despite feeling like it was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It always had like an odd feel to it. That was before even Nick Frost got involved.
It's on Netflix, by the way.
I'll get on it.
Daniel Wu.
So speaking of things that Marvel has done right, hopefully they will do right. New casting has been announced for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Hit on back. Tenoch Huerta has been announced as Namor the Submariner. So interesting. I certainly am interested to see what they're going to do with the character of Namor. I don't really know anything about Tenoch Huerta. But he's Mexican,
Nice.
Which I mean, for anybody who potentially will get upset about why they cast a Mexican for the King of Atlantis or the Prince of Atlantis, who cares what race he is?
I mean, wouldn't it be like
it's fake. It's fake. It's not real. So hopefully people will get over that. He was in Spectre from the James Bond movie. He's in Sin Nombre.
Which James Bond?
Daniel Craig. Spectre.
Okay.
Yep. I realized that the way I phrased that was a little bit clunky.
I thought you said he was Inspector.
He was in Spectre, not he was Inspector.
The James Bond movie.
He was in the James Bond movie Spectre.
Yeah, first try.
Yep. Fix it in post. Yeah, exactly. He's in Narcos.
Never seen that. I hear a lot about it though.
Heard good things. Some good things. Heard some very good things.
Drug shows ain't my thing.
I watched the first season. I didn't watch the second one. He was in, I think, the third season or the spin-off Narcos Mexico.
So, having looked this up, his credit in James Bond's movie Spectre is as Mexican man in Lift. So apparently he was not.
Nailed it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
A huge part of that movie.
I mean, the only thing I'd say for me, like the only caveat is that Neymar. I don't care about the age. I don't care about the ethnicity because he's 40.
Yep.
So he's not a young blood, which is fine. Because again, Neymar is, I mean, technically Marvel's first mutant. If we're not, counting the Elseworlds. So he's over 100 years old. He's he's older than Wolverine. So I'm fine with that. The only thing I gotta say, because again, and let's just squash this right now. They're not going to do the banana hammock and the banana hammock costume. He's going to be wearing the costume he wears more modern, the kind of like more like a black leather hammock. Well, he had hammock meat, but he's hairless. Like the more like deep V cut, like more leather armor look to it. A less shitty version of what they did in Inhumans for Black Bolt. But I mean, really, everything is a less shitty version of Inhumans.
It's true.
Even Iron Fist is a less shitty version than that.
I say they should just go with like a quasi Aquaman design, like skip the scale armor, but just go like tight pants. Like what I'm trying to think of is like a surfing bodysuit type deal, something like that. Like, I guess you could do that where if you wanted to, like, put him in that kind of, like, a surfing bodysuit and then just have it, like, a zipper down to, like, mid-chest level or something like that, or right above his frickin' sternum or whatever. You could do that, but, like, I don't know, just visualizing it, yes, the banana hammock is problematic. Also, the winged feet are problematic, so...
He'll be wearing boots, I'm sure, in some way. I mean... Like, there's a lot of different, like the image I think of...
But that's his mutation, though, isn't it?
About 20 years ago, yeah.
So, like, you have to include it. You can't ignore that.
He'll be insecure about it.
I guess so.
So, I mean, in the more modern times, it's been a bit more, no pun intended, scaled down from like full armor. So more like arms and shoulders and stuff on his legs. So it still has showing the torso because again, like he's a honeypot. Let's just be honest about it.
Put that on IG. You guys can go to the IG and to our IG and see what we talking about.
A hairless man with a mullet. But the
content.
But because there's a costume that's very where I wish I could find it. A little bit more similar to this, where it's almost like Black Adam.
That's nice.
Kind of designed.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's the one where he had for a while, especially when Jim Lee was doing a lot of cover art for Marvel stuff. Still, he came back for a little bit, post some stuff, but yeah, I mean, Neighbor's gone through a 1,000 looks and 1,000 character
arcs, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, he's been hero, villain, neutral. He's been everything.
He's a picker. He's a grinner. He's a.
So it's why he's a great character to bring in because he'll flip sides.
Yep.
Like because again, really, it's and they barely touched on it. They only touched on it when it came to like his medical issues in DC with Aquaman, but that's one of his like character descriptions. Like if he's in one or the other because of his lineage, if he's in water too long, he goes crazy. If he's out of the water too long, he goes crazy. His brain gets imbalanced, and that's when people like Doctor Doom and other villains take advantage of it. And that was one of the key elements during the What If series Earth X, where Doctor Doom knew that, took advantage of it, and used him to do some bad shit.
So, for those of you who may not know, the reason that he becomes imbalanced is because, much like Aquaman, or exactly like Aquaman, he is a child of both an Atlantean and a human.
So some Atlantean seen the little Mexican lady over there?
Apparently.
I get it.
I think it's the same situation, though. I think it was his mom was a princess and his dad was a fisherman or a captain.
Oh, this little Guatemalan dude was out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same story. And they just...
Interestingly enough, one of the first times that DC copied Marvel.
Suck it one time.
There's another one. Man-Thing. I think Man-Thing was actually before Swamp Thing.
Who got Swamp Thing?
DC.
Oh, it's in the Vertigo. It's not... Or whatever the other line was before Vertigo.
I mean, he's fully in the DC universe, though.
Your mom was in DC.
Also, I think technically Black Canary, but the iteration of her... So, Mockingbird, the iteration of Mockingbird that is actually the one we associate with current Mockingbird is not the same as her initial appearance. Her initial appearance was like some chick in like the Savage Land, basically. And then she's completely different now in modern times. She's more of a copy of Black Canary. So,
Did you just screen it off?
yes. It's more or less the exact same character. She's a badass chick with high-pitched frequency shouts who wears leather.
That's hilarious.
But technically, the character of Mockingbird was created before Black Canary.
Nice.
Indeed. So moving right along on the news. Speaking of big fights, I don't know how to segue into this. Anyways, recently,
I was listening.
I legitimately, Logan Paul.
Speaking of hairless sex bots,
There we go.
Floyd Mayweather.
He's the king. The fax machine. Money Mayweather and YouTube sensation Logan Paul recently came to blows in an official setting, a quote unquote official setting.
What? No.
This was an exhibition match.
Yeah, Floyd came out and said, "This is an exhibition match. If I lose, it don't go on my record."
Yep.
Floyd got 50% of everything. Logan got 5%.
Yep. There you go, buddy.
That's just what it was.
But that's still several $1 million. So.
Well, I mean, Logan gonna put. I'm sure he did what I ate before the Floyd fight. What I ate after the Floyd
Content,
fight.
baby.
Yes, sir.
Content.
Oh yeah.
Would you like to fight like me? No, I saw that fight.
Listen, I never want to be on Money's side, but he won the fight.
Absolutely.
Like, legitimately won the fight.
I've not seen any footage.
He won the fight so hard he decided that he needed to give Logan a couple hugs.
No, yeah, there's a clip where shows where Floyd won, but because they had an agreement beforehand that there wouldn't be a clear winner. There's a part where he gives him a good hit. He starts falling. Floyd catches him, holds him up for a minute so he can regain his balance. And
So he was. Oh, that's good. That's awesome by Floyd, man.
First of all, listen. Also, Floyd doesn't want to ruin his record of not getting any knockouts.
Well, yeah. I thought Floyd won whenever he signed that deal, 50%.
Oh, yeah.
He won then. Whether he got knocked out or not,
Floyd won by existing.
All right, so real quick.
There was no world where he didn't get something out of this.
Yeah.
Amongst all the multiverse, I looked 6,500,000 times. There was no instances, nope, not even one, where Floyd Mayweather didn't walk away with more money than he started with.
Floyd look at Dr. Strange.
Yep, he's like, zero.
Looking back, it was
Somebody talked about me on the internet? All right, there's more money for me.
yeah. I mean, looking back, it was easy.
It's a good thing I can't read. No.
It was easy decision for Floyd because he's like, I get to be in a fight and I'm not the shittiest person in the ring. This is fucking great. This is fucking great.
But how do you guys feel about this? You know, like Floyd or any other professional boxer fighting, you know, basically for money.
No, you mean you don't mean for money. You mean taking on challengers.
Every fight's for money.
Every fight is for money.
But what
They get paid.
is-
They shouldn't be getting their fucking shit rocked every night for nothing.
But at the end of the day, there's still some kind of pride of you being another professional.
Right. You're right. So what you're talking about is taking on any comers. Yes.
That shit said a long time ago.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't saying Floyd. I was saying in the big picture,
But-
fighting.
Oh yeah, no.
Professionals fighting
Non-professional
money.
boxers.
Yeah,
Taking on anybody who no, I am not for that.
nah, I'm not
A
either.
boxer who has nothing to lose or gain by doing this fight, yeah, Floyd doesn't care. This is just a TV show for him.
Okay, the reason why
I'm saying, yeah, if it was Canelo, this would not be good for him.
The reason why I think this ain't a big deal for me with Floyd is because Floyd's retired. Floyd let you know I'm not coming back. I'm not fighting no other fighter. He'll take this right here to make money. I'm not finna hate on nobody making money. But now if you are a fighter like you in the prime of your fighting career and you still fighting fighters and you take an expedition like this, I think that's nasty.
I don't think that you would.
Here's the thing. I would say
I don't think you would either.
I think you could because it'd be very easy to spin it. Because you could do it. Because again, the net gain for you will be two things. It'd be gaining notoriety, so your name gets out there, and money. But the only way to do it, sadly, would be to do it for charity or for like to help somebody.
Goddamn charity's always taking too much.
Oh no, they can easily do that and only give like 10% to charity. So they could. Again, most won't because they won't bother with it. But go ahead. Plus, nobody has the notoriety to do it anyways.
So that was the main event. Now some of the underclass fighting, the one I was really looking at is the Brian Maxwell and Chad Ochocinco. They fought. Chad went down in the 4th round. There's the I Am an Athlete podcast with Chad Johnson, Fred Taylor, Brandon Marshall, and Shannon something. I forget. One of my favorite podcasts out there. Fred Taylor Shannon looked at he looked at Brandon Marshall. He said, Brandon, please tell him don't do this. Please tell him he gonna have his booty in the air like Nate Johnson, like Nate Robinson. He was begging like Brandon could do something. Bro, everybody in that podcast know he was going down. But he lasted 4 rounds, and that right there, that aspect I'm into. I like to see people actors, influencers outside of the boxing ring get into the boxing ring with each other. Like that'd be dope to see. Like, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there. It probably would be an advantage, but it'll be dope to see Will Smith versus like The Rock. I'm just throwing 2 names out there that's big names. You know what I mean? It'll be dope to see that. It'll be dope to see 2 big names like that.
I get the idea you're going for.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, it might be a bad example.
But
They already have this, and they've done it numerous times with the celebrity boxing things. And while it did make for some entertainment, I don't think it was made for quality sports.
I mean, but it has of recent it has been successful. I mean, but I think it only could be successful like you had Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones, and then the underclass was like Nate Robinson and the Paul Boy.
Well,
like both of those did well.
Here's the thing I would say: the further we go along, the broader the definition of celebrity gets. So the more chance we have of people we know going to the brick oven. Well done for that.
Well, I know Lamar Odom trying to get in the ring.
Good, he ain't doing shit.
The other thing you got to consider is like The Rock and Will Smith are not going to get into the ring. You know why?
No, I was using an example.
I get it.
His name's of that caliber.
I get it, but do you know why?
I mean, they don't need to.
Because of this.
They don't need to.
Because their face.
Yeah,
they can't do that. They can't. Look at Mickey Rourke.
Bro,
Mickey Rourke did this in the fucking late 80s, early 90s, where he was a pretty boy actor, and he got into the ring, he tried a boxing career, and somebody fucked his shit up. Fucked his face up, and he had to get plastic surgery, and the plastic surgery looked like shit.
Well,
that ended his career until he came back later. What?
Who did he fight?
I don't remember. It's not really important.
It is important. Was it a real boxer?
I'm sure it was, but
if you go and fight against another celebrity, they're not gonna have boxing skills to mess your face up.
No, but
Mickey Rourke was trying to be an actual boxer. He was fighting an actual boxer.
That's what I'm saying. This is right here be more like celebrity against celebrity.
But it doesn't matter.
It wouldn't be top. You wouldn't. This wouldn't be the top notch. These would be celebrities that's like out of the limelight, trying to get back into the limelight.
Telling people who have no professional boxing experience, who haven't been working out for it, who haven't been conditioning themselves for it, and who haven't been taking any training for it. That sounds like an awful thing to watch.
Yes. No, a lot of
celebrity slap box.
There you go.
A lot of these celebrities to stay in shape, they box anyways. A lot of these celebrities already do that.
Okay. So they do have experience then. They just maybe don't have it in the ring?
Yeah, not in the ring.
Guys,
they have an understanding.
Okay. Either way, the thing we're talking about, it's already happening.
Yeah.
You just described two recently, and there was like 3 years ago, several events of like former celebrities doing this stuff. So it's already happening. That's what I'm saying. We're seeing as we go, the further we go along, the more number of celebrities. So again, like you know how like every week there's a celebrity death. Because 40 years ago we didn't have that many celebrities.
It's true.
We had 3 channels, two movies a week. Now we have 20 movies a week from 30 countries. Somehow.
Not even including YouTube.
We got
influencers.
We have 20 different streaming platforms. So there's new content created constantly. Plus those stars, the former celebrities, people who are well known, ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
So all those people from Game of Thrones are just waiting for their next shot at something.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they're running around. They're like, we'll have a point where they'll have to do something because we're gonna hit the
I'm just gonna say it.
We're gonna hit the go ahead. I don't remember the word for it.
Zenith?
No.
The peak.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say it. I want to see Halle Berry in the ring.
Okay, against who?
I don't know.
I'll see her.
I just want to see in the ring. She can be in the ring by herself.
You just want to see Halle Berry with a ring. With your ring.
Nah, Halle Berry, Alicia Keys. It's a good fight.
There you go. Ooh.
That's a good fight.
I tune in for that. I give that one to Alicia Keys.
Okay, who win?
Yeah.
I won.
Me. A winner is you. Congratulations.
I'll pay $50 for that. Zion was so...
You ain't paying no money. You're going to go to somebody's house and watch it.
Zion was so into the fight. He was like, man, can you just order it for me? I said, bro, I ain't finna pay no $50 for no YouTuber, bro.
No. Bro, if you just like look at some of the fucking shit that he's... This is how he's fucking throwing punches at Mayweather. Like, wide ass, not even like in front of himself. Like, just going, Don't get me wrong, I get it. I'm not a fucking trained boxer. I am not an in-shape person. I understand those gloves are fucking heavy, and you're going several rounds. You're going 8 rounds. Mm-hmm. I get it. You're gonna get gassed, but man, this guy.
That's why you don't get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. Well, he won, I guess. I guess he did win, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put.
He won in every conceivable way. Because the thing of it is, he came out and said it was never going on his permanent record anyways. So he didn't have to come up with it.
Paul.
Jake Paul?
They both won.
He got in the ring with the GOAT and didn't get knocked out.
He lasted 8 rounds.
Last round with 8 with the GOAT.
He won that. Mayweather won because he got paid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nobody cared. Again, it wasn't. Once you say exhibition fight, nobody actually cares. And again, usually after watching the last 4 or 5 Mayweather fights, I wasn't. Listen, man, that was close. That was close. He was ever going to get to a knockout.
Them chilling cared. Mm-hmm. Them young
and
young
that's
kids,
why Logan Paul won.
The middle schoolers, they cared. That was they wrestling.
Pretty much.
I say this with all due.
I mean, boxing has pretty much been wrestling for the last 20 years or more.
And guess what? They parents.
Ever since fucking Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear.
I seen one. It was one report that they made $500,000 per punch.
Yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
$500,000 per punch.
Yeah. So, speaking of pal zoom to the moon, Jeffrey Bezos, CEO, entrepreneur, born in 1964, has announced that he is going to take the first flight on his company's Blue Origin, the first manned flight, the first crewed flight, to space.
You know, that's like, they should do an episode.
New Shepard is the name of the ship.
You know that show where they hide the boss and to be the boss working with you?
They're going to put him on there. Said like Kyle from...
People don't know he's there.
I mean, you can't hide Jeff Bezos.
His name is Ref
Man,
Razor.
That new guy really looks like Lex Luthor.
His name is Ref Razor.
Yeah.
He's from Portland? Not
Portland,
Seattle.
Maine? Or Portland, Oregon?
Not Seattle.
Not Seattle. It's from Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine. Maine.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
I feel like so. I did read into it a little bit, and apparently it's something that he's wanted to do ever since he was a child, is to go into space, and he's just kind of fucking living his best life at this point.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a big dick move. like Elon puts his roadster into space. Jeff says, "Nah, I'm gonna put something more valuable. Me." Let's see you put $100 billion into space.
Don't Jeff Bezos have like a $500 million yacht?
$500 million?
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like an extraordinarily expensive yacht.
Anyways, anything he does is like, yo, y'all can't do it. Everything he does is a flex.
Pretty much. I mean, when you are the richest man in the world, although apparently he lost that title recently. Not only did he lose it to Elon a couple times. They went back and forth, but not even that. Some other guy who owns his family owns like 10 different high-end luxury brands.
What's the brand?
Like brands.
Oh, I thought you said.
That
sounds like he got money. A brand? He never been to a brand.
Anyways. So he apparently he overtook him for a bit. I don't know if he's still there.
It don't matter.
Who knows?
Top 3.
It don't matter. Yeah, like
top 3.
at this point, the distance between a normal human being and them is so astonishing. Although I will say that for the guy that overtook him, I think he's more of a traditional like billionaire, like because his is in a lot of things and money rather than like Jeff. A lot of his stuff is in the stock in his own company.
Yeah. Now is it the dude that just took him? Is it his family that's rich, or he's rich?
Like he's rich because he's like
the heir.
Yeah, and even beyond that, I think I guess he owns.
That's less.
To me, yes, but
your boy built his.
Yep. And he came from nothing. He came from a poor background. Elon was the son of a multimillionaire, anyways.
Yeah, doesn't Elon bloodline leads like the Tesla? Tesla don't, ain't that like one of his distant grandfathers or something like that?
I don't know about that, but his father was like the owner of a fucking bunch of diamond mines in South Africa.
Well, my diamonds.
Yes. But Jeff was apparently his mother was a single mother. And she married a guy who helped her out, and
this nigga sold books.
Yeah,
That's
out of his garage. Books. Out of his garage.
Information.
Out of his fucking garage.
Y'all can go over to IG. This won't last and get any books you want. We gonna start selling books.
Right. Yeah. And he became the richest man in the world.
That's respectable, though. I will say. Really, real self-made billionaires are respectable.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, apparently there was a leak recently that showed the tax information of the richest men in the world, richest people in the world, and they combined paid less than 13% in taxes. I won't get into that. I won't get into the politics of that because, again, you're talking about, like, okay, technically, Jeff Bezos being the richest man in the world is due to his ownership of the stock in his company, which means he doesn't actually have the money, which means the only way he actually has access to that is if he sells it, and that's when it gets taxed, not just for owning it. But it's kind of crazy. Elon paid nothing.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
All the billionaires. Sounds about right.
Yep. Even Mr. What's his name? Buffett was on that list, and I guess he didn't pay very much either. But
see, and that's the reason why I don't respect billionaires. It's always that has it passed down. Because like you didn't do nothing much to get it, then you got it, and you don't have to do nothing to keep it. Like at least with Jeff Bezos, I know that nigga had Frosted Flakes before.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like this nigga done ate some soup before that he didn't want to eat. You think Trump ever had soup he never want to eat?
Nope. I don't think Trump ever had anything that he didn't want to eat.
Grab him by the...
I think Trump probably had something and didn't want him to eat it.
Grab him by the... Oh my! Why? How are we here?
In the world, or like, how do we get on to the billionaires? Eating. Well, you kind of made that direction, but I brought in the billionaires. I started talking about that. But speaking of Jeffrey Bezos, CEO, entrepreneur, and born in 1964, Bo Burnham just recently released a new special on Netflix, which he made himself in his home during the pandemic.
Nice.
You say you don't really know Bo Burnham, but Bo Burnham is a...
it's kind of like how Kevin Hart did.
A bit, I suppose. Okay. But Bo Burnham was known... he's a comedian, but he was known coming up through YouTube, in which, a lot of what he did initially was just sit in his little room in his parents' house and make videos. Make songs and make goofy, fun stuff. And he actually has a bit in the special where he, in the song, he says, "Am I really back where I was 14 fucking years ago?" You didn't see it. Paul, you saw it. Thoughts?
I was introduced to Bo Burnham 14 years ago, 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. By a comic friend.
Yeah, this is a guy you guys went to Miami to see.
No.
Good try. So, anyways, he's been around. He's been active online for 15 years. Mm-hmm. Probably longer. I think he started when he was 13 or 14. He actually made a point of it. He talked. There was a whole bit in the special about his 30th birthday. Because he was hoping to have this done and be completed with it by it before his birthday. So he sat there for a full minute until the clock turned midnight, so he can get back to work.
Yeah.
That was his celebration, just waiting that 1 minute. It is manic. It is at times depressing, exciting.
What's manic?
Okay,
it's all
yeah, because his last two specials have taken a much more satirical, much more political, much more more of a look at the human experience.
It's more personal.
It sound that pretentious, but yeah, he's trying to say something with his specials recently.
Yep.
His first two things were just very straight up just goofy stuff. But his last one was a gigantic spectacle, full laser light concert show at the end doing a Kanye West song, Kanye West style song.
Kanye West style.
And this one, more so because Kevin Hart, while it wasn't in his house, allegedly, he had a whole crew filming it for him.
No, that was his house.
Right, but he had a whole crew filming it for him. Mm-hmm. Bo did everything by himself.
That's crazy.
Lighting, music, editing, everything from start to finish by himself. And again, maybe at some point, somebody Netflix helped him out to fine tune it. But the vast majority of it, you can clearly tell, is done by himself. And he films it over the year because his hair grows wildly between scenes.
I will say one of my favorite bits of it is like seeing the room that he primarily does all this stuff in is a very sparse room. It's like extremely small, and it's got like the main entrance and then kind of an open area, and then his piano is like on one side, and then like there's another whatever fucking desk on this side. And it looks very, very neat and very sparse in some shots, and then in other shots you see it, and he's got just like tons of fucking wires and electronics, and like it was just like a fucking mess.
It is. I'll keep it simple because I would definitely say watch it. Whether you're a fan of this comedy or not, watch it. My favorite part of the whole thing is white woman Instagram.
White women on Instagram.
White woman's Instagram.
He himself reenacts very cliche and very famous pictures from white women's Instagrams, including the cheeky look behind, show the butt cheeks in your underwear.
In song, by the way.
Yeah.
So like it's a visual and sonic like experience.
Yeah, most of his bits are through song.
Yeah. He has gotten to this point where like Paul was kind of talking about earlier, his comedy, if it can really be called just flat out comedy, is less stand up and more almost like performance art piece.
Yeah.
like
it's become it was early on. It was very much setup, punchline, or setup, misdirect, punchline.
Yep.
Now it's very much like he's creating these landscapes. Which again, I don't mean to sound so pretentious, but it does take a little like it's a little more involving than some other stuff.
One of my favorite bits from his early work is more an example of how it was like set up, misdirect, punchline, like you talk about. It says, people ask if I'm an optimist or a pessimist. I consider myself a realist. Like, when life hands you lemons, you probably just found lemons.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite anyways. But he's gotten to this point where like he makes observations, does these like grandiose spectacles of it, and kind of almost like not like turns around, but basically kind of just like basically says, "What do you think?" Like at the end of almost every single thing that he does. One of the funniest bits, in my opinion, was the "That's the way the world works" with the sock puppet. He has a sock puppet, and I won't want to spoil anything. It does not end well for the sock puppet.
He does a good job of making you think that he's gone crazy over the year.
Yeah.
No, this during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on that.
Would you like to share them with the class?
Yes.
All right.
I think the pandemic was the best thing for the world creatively. Because it forced you to become more creative than you ever did. We finding so many more people being more creative. Look at Versus.
I think there's a lot of people who responded very well to it.
Yeah, it was. Now I'm not saying everybody was more creative, but you finding so many people now. One of the biggest problems they're having is people not going back to work. A percentage of that is people not going back to work because they created their own businesses. It's a lot of new businesses that didn't exist, that exist now, and it's a creative way, on the internet. This and that, these different businesses.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that. There's plenty of new content creators now. Judge wink wink. I mean, again, there's a lot of factors that go into it. I mean, again, whether it's
the stock market,
honestly,
let's not touch about that.
I would say whether it's because people are making more money, a more livable wage through their stimulus checks, or whether they're getting better work or more enjoyable work through doing delivery or driving or things like that, or whether they are able to do things from home and they're able to, they found new avenues and new ways to be their own boss. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's changed the world. I mean, again, it's like all things.
It's never going to be the same.
It'll be a while. Listen,
it's never going to be the same.
The sad matter of fact, while we might redefine the normal, a lot of the old world will come back. That's just a matter. It's just how humans are. We ain't changed a lot over the last 10,000 years.
I think the issue is that people are thinking that normal is not ever redefined, and normal is constantly being redefined anyways. It just so happens that this is a milestone. A lot of things that contributed to what has changed are things we never experienced before. You look at the coronavirus, the COVID-19 in and of itself. It's a disease that is largely not lethal to most of the people who contract it. However, for the people that it is lethal for, it is very lethal, and it is very, very communicable. So you get this thing into a fucking hospital where there's a lot of sick people. Suddenly, it wipes a bunch of people out, even though in a normal, healthy group, nobody dies from it.
But I was saying from this standpoint, I think with America, if you look at America and where we get if we have excessive specialism, whatever, it was because we had to be creative. For instance, when it was building bridges, someone came up with a way to put a net under the bridge while they was building because people was taking their poor time because they didn't want to fall. When they put the net down there and see when they fall, they bounce and they don't hit the ground or they don't hit the water or whatever, they build bridges faster. So what I'm saying is, when people were sitting at home, they had to make money. Some people built nets. You feel what I'm saying? Figured out a way to do it. So that's why I say that the adversity of that, to me, especially in the world of art, has made people more creative.
So, yeah.
So next we get into the one that we're gonna. How we gonna do? We're gonna do the good, the bad, and ugly. Or are we gonna do the question of the $1 million, $10 million?
Take over that.
Which one y'all want to do?
We can do that at the end. Do yours.
Okay, so I got the we're gonna do loaded questions in a different way. We're gonna do it the good and bad and the ugly. We're gonna do 3 good solid questions. We're gonna do 2 not so good questions, and we're gonna do 1 ugly question. So that's the good and bad and the ugly with the loaded questions. First question.
Is this good, bad, or ugly?
This is all good.
These are all good.
We start with the good, go
Okay.
to the bad, then the ugly. First question. Would you rather have a time machine or a teleportation machine?
Teleportation. All day, every day.
Why?
Butterfly effect. Diseases. Being burned as a witch.
That wouldn't happen with a teleportation machine?
I can't caught and teleport.
You scared to go back in time?
Yes. Yeah, from diseases.
How far back in time are you planning on going there, Chiefo?
You got a machine, you go as far as you
I'm
want.
going to the 50s, I'll tell you that.
All right. So here's what I'm going to tell
The 50s?
You're white. You'll be fine.
I don't deal with those people.
So I got a question before I give my proper answer. What kind of rules of time travel are we doing? Are we dealing with? If I go back in time and I make a change, does it affect me, like
Yes.
who I am when I return?
Whatever rules you want to have.
Okay.
Butterfly effect. You change one thing. Again, within reason. Like, we're not saying if you step on a rock over here.
I'm not even saying butterfly effect. That's what y'all.
It's
Nah,
gonna be a
that's
time.
what
Long story short.
It's gonna be
Long story
time.
short is what I'm kind of getting at is like, would I go back in time and tell my younger self to invest in Amazon, invest in Bitcoin, invest in Dogecoin?
That's what you want to do with your time
Could I
machine.
go 3 months forward, go back to November of 2020 and be like, hey, put everything you have in Dogecoin?
That's what you want to do with it.
Now, the other question again, would this change me?
Whatever you want to use.
Or would this just create a branch? So if it changes me, I would absolutely take the time machine. If it creates a branch, fuck alternate me. No.
I guess we can deal with hot tub time machine time travel.
Yeah, like, absolutely. I would just go 3 months back and be like, listen, put every dollar you have in Dogecoin, or not 3 months, but back to November of 2020, and be like, put every dollar you have in Dogecoin, and I would be like a multi-millionaire at this point, and obviously all my problems wouldn't go away, but many of them would.
No.
I wouldn't be hanging out with you two. No.
We wouldn't even have a podcast right now.
I'm laughing because I'm picturing it play out. He's like, "Hey, listen to that fool. I'm gonna put $10,000 into a half a cent stock. You man. I will become you."
It does sound like me. This guy knows me.
I would go with teleportation.
And you
do. Going back in time for me ain't that good. I can't go that unless I go super far, and I ain't got those skills to go way back.
Oh,
in the
that
day.
being said, pretty clever. Only like 9 months. Well played, white boy. Well played.
I mean, like, even if, like, even just going back freaking 20 years and telling your 20-year younger self to invest in Amazon would have the same effect.
Yeah.
Like, like, depends on how you want to do it. And that would probably draw less suspicion.
But I got a teleportation machine.
It's true. What you gonna do with that?
Teleport into a bank.
What you gonna do with that teleportation machine? That teleportation
If
machine.
I really want,
Carry out?
huh?
How much you gonna carry out?
All right. The second question: would you rather speak in rhymes for the rest of your life, or to speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
What psychopath? I'm sorry, Brian's a big riddles. I'm gonna go in rhyme. Yeah, it's just. I mean, while it'll be like. Do I have any control over it at all? Like,
Your rules.
So again, like if it's one thing where it's like if I like could get good at it and like do it well, great. If I'm like it's super awkward all the time, like 90s like old white guy rap.
But do you think you would improve though?
Probably not.
I think you
I
would.
still want rhyme. It's fuck riddles. People should understand me now. Fuck riddles. I ain't doing that shit.
Are you hungry? Well, if you had food on the table and food on the couch, I would eat. I'm gonna go with speaking rhymes because I'm already write rhymes. So, and I think I would get better over time by doing that. Oh, my poetry game. Oh, my poetry game is gangster now. Imagine my poetry game when I got it. That's the only way to talk to women is my poetry game. Oh, roses are red. The ocean is deep. Let's go get something to eat. Woo! Huh? That ain't me. Ryan, would you rather speak in rhymes for the rest of your life or speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
You ever pee so hard that your kidneys kind of hurt afterwards?
Told it. All right, next question.
Would you rather? I just got it.
Because I was speaking a riddle. This guy, he gets me.
This one y'all already got time on this one right here. But would you rather be forced to listen to the same song on repeat for the rest of your life, same 10 songs on repeat for the rest of your life, or watch the same 5 movies for the rest of your life? Let me just give you some context. Anytime you listen to music, it will be those 10 songs. Anytime you watch movies, it will be those 10 movies.
So
We can do TV, either one y'all want to do.
it's not like you have to watch those movies or listen to those songs constantly.
No.
It's just whenever you wanted to do it.
Yeah,
you can only watch those.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that it would be the movies. Because the thing is like, I kind of already go back to a lot of the same movies anyways. Whereas songs, like, I do spend times where I, like, obsess over certain songs, but then I will absolutely fucking circulate a bunch of different shit. So, like, I think if I had to do one, I would just be happy with watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
The best 5?
Half of them. Is it 5 or is it 10?
It's 5.
It's 5?
Yeah.
I mean, I could watch Endgame. That's quantity. Civil War and Guardians 2, that's quality. Iron Man 1, that's just for fun and humor. And then, I don't know what the last one is, but...
That way you go outside the Marvel Universe for your last one. Paulito.
Well, your question
Dark
is
Knight.
phrased
It's
a
a
little
brilliant film.
differently than the one I've heard before. So based on your version of it, I would say I would go with the same songs, because honestly, I barely listen to music now. So,
Same song, yeah. I think I would go with the same song too. I got like my 10 that I already listened to now. I'm good. All right. Now we into the bad. The bad is just like, that's not that cringy, but it's like,
I hate that word.
that's not a bad. All right, so it says, would you rather have a face that everyone laughs at or a name that everyone laughs at?
what happens when you have both?
You mean I get to choose? I suppose, like, do I have to tell them my name?
Oh, bro, I'm just
Like, there's a lot of people out there who don't even go by their actual names anyways.
I mean, come on, bro. You know you would have to tell them their name.
Right, but, like, I don't know.
I guess a name you make fun of, because you can
Yeah.
always just go by a nickname.
That's what I'm saying.
Name. I'll go with name. I don't know. I just go with name. All right, second one. Would you rather wear a tuxedo every day for a month or have to wear a tutu every day for a month?
Like just a tutu?
Well,
Or a tutu on top of what I normally wear?
I guess it'd be on top of what you normally wear.
Ooh. What month? In Florida,
You-
that's a huge difference.
You pick a month.
No, you pick a month, D, because because if I pick, it's going to change the answer.
June.
Tutu.
Why?
Suited a tuxedo in June in Florida? Slit your own wrists. I'm not doing that shit.
I'm gonna
yellow after day 3.
I'm gonna go with tuxedo because you did not specify that I couldn't wear like one of those cooling vests underneath, or utilize my patented neck fan that I also own.
Or you can just be inside.
Thus,
be
undoing
inside.
all the effects of the tuxedo. Right?
Exactly.
All right.
It's science, Paul.
This is the last
Why do you
bad.
hate science?
This should have been ugly for us, but we're going to say it's a bad. Would you rather eat nothing but celery for the rest of your life or oatmeal for the rest of your life? This should have been ugly. I knew it should have been ugly.
So I'm gonna look at this from a very pragmatic sense and say oatmeal because celery has literally no nutritional value. Like you would die sooner from celery.
Good. I wouldn't want to leave that one. One question. I hate to be that guy. Can you add anything to the oatmeal just as it is? Like
It's your world.
base level oatmeal. No, you can't do it. You got to put some parameters in this. Dude.
I would definitely say that under those parameters, you can't add anything to either one.
Yeah.
Like, because you could just add fucking
Okay.
hummus to celery,
We're gonna
or
do 2 ways. You can do added, like ranch.
Let's say no ad. Because if you do add, then fucking I mean, I can eat peanut butter and celery all day. I'm good.
Okay.
Answer on log. Man, I guess oatmeal because I need to survive to pay my bills. My phone's gonna pay for me. So.
Ryan, you said oatmeal?
I say oatmeal just because like you can't fucking live on salary. You would literally die within like days, and it wouldn't be a pleasant death either.
I mean, you can
Like-
live without food for almost 30 days. So you ain't gonna die in a couple of days if you just eat celery. I'm assuming you're gonna be
You
able to
might
drink water.
die sooner because it's mostly water.
That's gonna hydrate.
Like
you.
that's gonna strip your vitamins. It's not about just like having water. It's about maintaining a balance.
I
Like
understand that, but I mean, you're not gonna be as thirsty.
okay,
I mean, it's people with fruit diets that.
What's your answer?
My answer would be oatmeal.
Okay.
Cause I need something in my belly.
I want to get over with because I'm glad that nobody saw a loophole of just drinking your vitamins and nutrients. Let's move on. What's the next question?
All right, last question. This is the hard, but this is the ugly. The ugly. Would you rather die in a horrible accident, not knowing when,
No comment. What?
or live 100 years and never be able to talk or move? Oh no, never be able to move or talk.
Die a
I would
horrible
die.
death? Like right now?
You'll never know when.
Oh, so like real life. Okay.
Yeah. But when you die, it's gonna be horrible.
Oh yeah, like real life.
Yeah.
What he's saying is that you don't have the opportunity to maybe die in your sleep peacefully.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like real life.
You know, like
I don't sleep.
like
That's not an option for me.
like my grandfather. You know, dying in his sleep peacefully, not screaming in terror like the other passengers in his car. Oh, I already did that joke, didn't I?
Oh, I saw that. I
So you didn't stop
guess
my grandpa.
good radio. Violent death. Okay, I don't care.
I'm gonna talk that trash. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna talk horrible, cause I'm gonna have to talk, bro. I'm gonna have to walk, bro.
Oh no, I think we're all gonna die a violent death. Like I would not in any way be like, hey, let me be a complete non-entity in my own life.
What I got a question. What
That
if
sounds infinitely more horrible.
What if it's you burn alive?
I don't care. Like, or I can not be able to talk or do anything, but live 100 years. First off, living 100 years sounds awful.
Yeah.
I feel like I should ask the people who have lived 100 years about that, but yeah.
If you guys in the comment section are brave enough to answer this, let us know what would you do in these 6 scenarios. What would you rather? What would you rather? Good, bad, and ugly. Dun 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 dun. All right, next segment.
Yes.
Paul Breeze, do you want an intro?
No, because I'm on the bad microphone.
Oh, Ryan, do you want an intro?
Are we going to our main topic?
Yep.
Definitely. All right. So for the last few weeks, we have been reviewing the franchise, the series that is Fast and Furious. And we have come to a point where we've reached a divergence, I suppose. Last week we reviewed... I cut it out, motherfucker. Last week we reviewed Fast 5. This week we are reviewing Fast 6. Now, I would definitely say that Fast 5 was where the tide started to turn from this sort of heist crime movie yada yada to a bit more action focused, at least certainly in the end. Now, this movie right here, Fast 6.
This was the first real.
This
villain,
is the first
right?
real what?
This is the first real villain.
No. I would definitely say that Too Fast and Furious had a villain, as did Tokyo Drift,
Who was
as
the
did
villain in Too Fast?
fucking Cole Hauser, Carter Verone.
I guess, yeah. I guess so.
Yep. The only one that didn't have a clear villain was the first one. But anyways, this is the first one that really went full spectacle. Like, this is the first one where it was just like the entire movie was just this action sequence.
Yeah.
Starts out with the villain going to the hospital where his brother from the previous movie is. Actually, no, I'm doing the wrong one, aren't I?
Yep. Both of you guys. It's amazing.
No, this is the one with the.
Well, fucking speak up, you
the
fucktard.
first brother.
You sit in the corner.
Keep talking.
The first brother is the villain in this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It starts off nonchalantly in Moscow.
Yes.
Hobbs, of course, because he's Hobbs, rolls up. It teases you enough because you're showing a big action scene. It's not making all the noise in there.
Sorry. There we go.
big scene from that is that it's just Hobbs in Russia with a car in a building, and then they just ask how they get up there. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I don't want to go scene by scene because it's a long fucking movie, way longer than it needs to be. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is when it goes full spy action. It almost harkens back to like the weird days of your boy before Daniel Craig, Pierce Brosnan, James Bond, where it was spectacle just for the idea of spectacle. And I love that weird. They do another kind of like odd montage of getting everybody together, and it starts off with another flashback montage of all the previous movies. Mm-hmm. Makes you almost think this is going to be the last movie until the very end. It's a very. It feels so much different than the other movies. Like despite the 5 being a big departure from the previous movies, even this is a big departure from the previous movie. Because that one, there was a purpose and a goal in that one. This one. There's a prize to be won, but they're fine if they're not involved. They're all doing their thing, living their best life.
And I think that 5 was still like, and again, that kind of drama, the crime drama, the crime heist, whatever. This one is the first one where it's like, oh yeah, pretty much. Like, we're gonna get a team together. They're the fucking A-team.
Well,
like,
and the funniest part about it is in Fast 5. They stumble their way through all this, and by the luck of the draw, like they lose several times in big ways. Like they're straight up arrested and only survive because the guy who they're trying to rob accidentally breaks them out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like if he would have just done nothing, they'd be in the U.S. and he'd be fine. But he's like, "Oh, principal, I gotta kill you." Like. Motherfucker, just take a step back. Like, you played yourself.
Congratulations. So, definitely a different one. Definitely a departure. But an unwelcome one? Or is this really like... This is the first one where it's just like... It started to become the thing it is today.
Yeah.
Like,
so, yeah. Before I get into the fast facts, I'll say this is the... I forgot how much I enjoyed this one.
It was pretty
fun.
I think I might like this more than number 5. Mm-hmm. Like, because there's a lot of moments where it's like the characters are a lot more realized. Because now, Tyrese this is his 3rd time playing this character. This is Rome's 3rd time playing this character. Mm-hmm. This is...
It's Roman Pierce, bitches.
This is Pete Pierce.
It's on his fucking plane. It's Roman, bitches.
Hey, this is where Tez got the little mini tank. This is one where Tez had a tank, right?
No.
The mini tank.
That's like 8.
I know this one they was getting chased by the tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's run down the fast facts for this week. So runtime 2 hours 11 minutes. I think this is the first time it breaks 2 hours. Could be wrong.
Might be.
Came out on May 24th, 2013. Again, forever ago. Justin Lin back before he takes a break from the series. On that, so before the movie was even released, Universal was insisting on releasing the number 7 1 year later. So to meet their accelerated production schedule, they brought on a new director, James Wan.
Director of the Saw franchise?
That same guy.
Wow.
Because they wanted it out next year. However, with Death of Paul Walker, got pushed back a year later anyways. Whoopsie doo. Mm-hmm. Budget 160 million. Less than Jupiter's Legacy.
Season 1 of Jupiter's Legacy.
Opening weekend 117 million. Opening weekend 117 million. Total box office 788.7 million.
Woo! Within 5 times money.
Year-end ranking number 6. I think I saw that. I didn't write it down, but the number I saw, I think total net after marketing and everything else ended up bringing in like 117 million, which is like the number 5 most profitable film of that year.
Wow.
So like net, like after all the bills are paid, everybody gets their extra bonuses and free cocaine.
Here's what they made Universal.
Yeah. So came in number 6 that year-end box office behind Frozen, the first one, Iron Man 3, Despicable Me 2, The Desolation of Smaug, and Hunger Games: Catching Fire. It was a weird time for cinema. It was a weird time for cinema. Classified as an action adventure, and they pretty much ride that the rest of the series. So I probably won't be bothered to add that anymore. So new to the series from this moon, they introduced the Shaw family.
Yep.
Family.
And really bring us into the spy genre.
Yeah.
I guess it's a very vague term to use because again, like none of them are none of them are like
they lack
spying.
Subterfuge is not their strong point.
There's only 2 scenes where Dominic Toretto wears sleeves. I was about to make notes about it until the next scene they cut away where he's looking out of a window over the Thames and he is wearing a collar shirt. I'm like, God damn it. Almost that. I swear, he was going to be the first person in cinema history to wear a sleeveless collared shirt. Swear to God, he's going to do it. He's going to invent it.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot that Joe Taslim was on the crew.
A sleeveless.
Deadass forgot that Joe Taslim was part of the crew. And how badly he whooped the fuck out of Han Solo and
Tyrese.
Pierce.
Yeah. Oh man, it was kind of crazy.
That shit is
they look
scene,
like dumbasses.
And Rex took him to the brick oven. And on that scene, I forgot too. Like after rewatching it, after he leaves because he's like he doesn't want to deal with him. Rome gets up, Han gets up, the cops get up because he beats up 3 cops before they get there.
Yeah.
They all just walk away. The cops don't even try to arrest him. They're like everyone involved was embarrassed.
I love Tyrese's response. Nobody got to know about this.
They were just the wrong 2 guys to find Joe Taslim. Like, they didn't want to catch those hands.
No.
Literally everybody else on that crew was a fighter except those 2.
Yeah.
I love that it was those 2 there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would have been better if Tej was there too.
Well, later on, Tej kind of proves that he has some skill.
Yeah.
In a fight.
The Abo fight.
Yeah. But fucking Roman Pierce is like, he's the jokester, he's the trickster, and fucking Han is like the cool, collected, smart guy.
The chameleon.
Yeah. Like
the Asian guy in Europe.
Yeah.
So the quote unquote one thing you remember, this movie has 2 of them because fuck expectations. The tank chase.
Yep.
Why was there a tank on a truck?
Why wasn't there?
But why? They were moving.
Why not?
Okay, so here's my problem with that. So spoilers for any kind of plot. Who cares? They're there to get a chip that the bad guys need to create this device to kill a bunch of whatever. They're going to sell for billions. That chip.
MacGuffin.
So assumably that chip would be in the tank, but nothing's locked. Nothing's locked. There's just a tank in a truck with a chip.
Bro.
Armed, loaded, ready to go, fully fueled, ready to go 70 miles an hour down a highway. And it's just ready to go. There's no keys.
Pretty sure that's not how tanks work.
There's no combination. There's nothing. It just goes.
Bad guys don't think like us.
No, the good guys had it in there.
Good guys did that. The good guys gave a fully fueled tank.
Yeah. That was
push start.
They did that.
Why the motherfucker got push start? Why they got push start tank? They just jump on the back of a truck. That convoy with the most important thing in that hemisphere.
They was protecting
has
it, right?
2 jeeps protecting it. No Hummers, no soldiers, no machine guns, no helicopters, nothing. Nobody's watching it. Those dudes roll up on a fucking open top jeep and just jump on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the other thing you remember that movie.
Dying.
The Infinity Runway.
Yeah.
That 20-minute plane, that 20-minute flight that never gets off the ground, never turns.
Normally, when you spend 20 minutes on a plane on the runway, it's not moving.
And there was.
I've been taxied around a fucking runway.
That was a decent fight,
crashed. That crashed. There was still more runway. They were still driving.
Yep.
That was a decent fight between Dom and that dude, the big dude.
It made no sense.
It was alright. It was fine.
It was decent.
It was fine. It was better when like Dom and The Rock teamed up.
Come on. Excuse me. Come on.
Dom and Hobbs teaming up to take on the big dude was much better. Where he like they keep getting their one on with the guy, and then all of a sudden, like, Dom comes up, hikes up his legs and lifts the dude, and The Rock just flying elbow. Yeah. Although I will say it was kind of ridiculous that Dom had that moment where he does the flying headbutt against the big dude.
And they had no chemistry. They didn't even like each other at the time.
Nope.
Imagine if they liked each other.
If you want to talk about good fight scenes, to be honest with you, Michelle Rodriguez versus Gina Carano,
that was a good one.
Those were some good fight scenes.
That was a good one.
Like, probably some of the more grounded fight scenes than some of the other shit that they have with the dudes. Like, apart from, just Joe Taslim just beating the shit out of Tyrese and Han. But, like, they have just really good fight scenes together where it's just like they're just beating the shit out of each other, and it's not like ridiculous and overblown. So I don't know. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd say there was definitely more of a focus on actual fighting in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even I know there was an interview they had where they were special care taken to the underground fight between Carano and Rodriguez.
Yep.
Where they really wanted to make it seem that it was a trained fighter versus a street fighter.
Mm.
Where like she's throwing
That's
these,
pretty cool.
these sloppy punches, and she's more stylized. And again, trying to do it where like, yeah, neither one wins technically, but like there's definitely going a certain way. She's doing everything she can to stay on there.
One on gave him a baby.
The thing about a street fight is the street always wins.
One on gave him a baby and one on didn't. Somebody won.
Yep.
And a new big number of cars destroyed, 350.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, 250 of those cars were destroyed on the bridge scene with the tank.
I definitely say on the bridge scene.
So a lot of that was done practically. While this film is tremendous and ridiculous, this is probably the last movie with a lot of real practical effects.
Even the Spider-Man, when he did Spider-Man with the car.
Yeah. So the tank scene was real. Most of it. Again, granted, there's some spectacle added to it, but they were really driving over cars and were really destroying a lot of vehicles. That little flip car they made, most of that was done practically. Granted, they did use wires to emphasize a lot of the flips, but they did build those cars practically for that purpose. That's why it looks pretty ugly. And there's another part too, but yeah, they did make an effort in this movie to ground it, to again, while they're bringing these random ass criminals and street racers into the world of the spy game, a lot of it was done with purpose. Now, other stuff.
This was the first movie with your boy Daddy.
With your boy Daddy, I don't know what movie it was.
The Living Planet.
Nope. Good try. He's in 7.
That ain't him in that?
Nope.
Who recruited them then?
Hobbs.
Oh, yeah. I'm a year off. I'm a movie off.
Yep. So
this was one of the better ones.
to take down a mercenary terrorist group made up of former special forces soldiers, the baddest man in the U.S. government needs a group of random ass criminals that that beat him and he let get away one time. It's a bold statement to say to catch wolves. Are they really wolves? They fell their ass backwards to get out of that shit in Rio. Don't get me wrong. They got some skills, but they really had to emphasize because the whole time I think his partner and the other ones are not believing they're really that good until they're breaking down how to figure out how to find Shaw and breaking down the parts, the sounds they heard from the car, what they look, the sounds, the looks, the feel, what they did. They're breaking down all the different components and how to find this people and this thing, and it impresses Carano, the fucking snitch. One of my problems I've had with this film since day one. So all this I think is supposed to take place over 4 days, from start to finish almost, maybe 5 days at most. Mm-hmm. But so in the middle of all this, with nothing else happening that they show us, Brian, for some reason, specifically him, has to go back to LA, go into prison, talk to the guy he put in prison,
yeah,
survive that prison fight,
and then get out.
and get back, all in less than 24 hours,
No.
get back to his crew in London, and nothing happened. Like, I don't think anything happened and then the whole day he was gone.
You can't even get to London
But
to
why
America in
him?
24 hours,
Well,
okay?
Yeah, but why? Like, why did he have like what? House
And back?
House couldn't go. House can't punch with the thumb. Just, don't get me wrong. It was fun to see Paul Walker try to fight. It's always fun to watch Paul Walker try to fight because it's fun. It's like his acting. It's cute.
Still fights like shit. Still fights like shit.
Yeah. He goes from barely beating Roman in a grapple fight to just like taking down SAS fighters. Like, what?
He was pulling his punches.
Yeah, they're friends.
You were in the FBI fight. You were in the FBI for like 3 months. What the fuck's this shit going on?
You was pulling your punches.
I'm gonna look up London to LA.
So, yeah, my usual notes while watching this film. You have the flashback.
11 hours.
So that's 22 hours. So you got 2 hours to do that.
Hypothetically.
I do enjoy that for a lot of this movie, the crew just gets their butt whooped.
Yeah.
Throughout London, in the fights, like, they don't really win anything. They get closer, but they never really win until the very end.
Yeah.
And even then, it took an endless runway for them to win.
But I think what the whole idea for me is this movie was what made them a team for the next few movies.
Well, yeah, this made them Justice League.
Yeah.
And I mean that in all aspects.
Just Car League.
And I love how, but okay, so I guess they explain it later. So I'm not gonna go into that part, but like I know Dom's a badass, but he pulled the bullet out of himself. Like, you know, he has a full team there. He does it himself with like no blood.
First of all, sir, he's the lead wolf. He got to do it. The
Lead
lead wolf.
Yes, people do it for him.
I can't show weakness. You don't see Mufasa having somebody pull something out of him.
Mufasa doing shit he did.
Well, I'm saying before he died, though.
That's why he died.
It was in the elephant graveyard, whooping behind with bullets in him.
Maybe if he would have got Scar involved, he would have killed him.
Scar was already tainted. He was born tainted.
So Scar's actual name is Taka, which means trash in Swahili.
Facts.
So I feel like his parents kind of set him up to fail.
Well, they didn't want him.
Apparently.
He got black hair.
That's
Who
his
wants
fault.
that?
That's his fault.
So a few of the moments. So I love when they. I'm sure
I enjoy a world where James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons are related.
Unity. So I'm sure y'all caught Teddy Touch's phone when Hobbs calls Samoan Thor. Money. Shit was money. Fucking loved it.
Simone Thor.
It's not wrong.
Fairly
It's not wrong
accurate.
at all. In a different world, he might have played Thor.
Can we get The Rock to be Beta Ray Bill?
Ooh. Get up, talk Disney. Call Disney.
Hello, Disney.
Let me
No,
talk
not
Disney.
Datney.
Daddy.
So, this movie maybe wasn't as quotable as previous movies, but this movie had one of the best quotes in the whole franchise. The very end, the ad-lib, fucking the funniest line delivered as an ad-lib by The Rock.
Wait, let me set it up. You got enough baby oil?
No, I said no problem.
Uh-huh.
If you watched it, you would have remembered.
No, he said you got enough baby oil for them muscles.
He rolls up, sweating with Little Miss Brazil.
Yep. Ooh.
Mia,
Elsa Pataki.
better have baby oil.
There you go.
Why are you pointing at me?
Oh, usually love doing The Rock's part.
It's true, but I don't remember this one.
Better have that big ass forehead.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I heard that big ass forehead.
Solidified by the actual spit take by Ludacris Bridges.
No, that's not what the funniest part. If you go watch and see Tyrese's reaction, He died. He was like, oh man.
Well, yeah, because there was a forehead joke earlier in the film. He's like,
darkness, my old friend.
He almost shot me in the forehead. Like, no, man. That ain't nowhere near as big as your forehead. He's just like,
Yeah.
oh, this hell.
But in the movie, when he said that, Tyrese's reaction, he did not expect that.
Oh, no, it's why it's perfect. I loved all of it. The spit takes always get me with a reel. But yeah, no, it broke him. I loved it because it was one of the few real moments in these films.
Next thing you know, him and The Rock fighting on social media. That was a real fight, because that was that forehead, bro.
You'll love to see it. And so that's Fast 6. Y'all check it out. Actually, there's a discrepancy. Some places call it Furious 6. Other ones it's Fast and Furious 6. I like Furious 6. You have Fast 5, Furious 6. I like that feel for it. But check it out.
It's definitely one of my favorites.
For all you Gen Zs and Alphas, check it out.
Jen's Alphas?
Jaffas. Jaffas. You Jaffas?
Well, this did feature a British bad guy, so you could get a Jaffa cake. So,
Check it out, worth it.
forget to tell everybody, apart from the unfortunate death of one Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman Gal Gadot in the movie.
First of all, it wasn't a death, it was a birth.
Of Wonder Woman?
Yes.
I suppose so.
Look at it that way.
But apart from that, their post-credit sequence sets up the clearly thought-out timeline of these movies by showing that after the events of this film, once they had put away whatever Mr. Shaw's name was.
His brother.
His brother, yeah. His brother had gone to Tokyo to exact revenge.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he was already in Tokyo, and that's why he started there instead of starting with some of the other ones. But, and thusly had killed off Han, sealing the time loop. Well, we thought, yes, you're right. But apparently, in Fast 9, that may be undone.
Because he ain't do it right. You should let me get it.
Why you ain't do it right? Anyways.
Why you do it right?
Yeah, wow. Like, it kind of creates this weird time paradox where, like, apparently Tokyo was in this extreme retro technology phase where, like, literally everyone had shittier technology from, like, 10 years before.
Yeah. And somehow, let's not talk about it. It's an issue. We can move on. I think that's the episode.
I agree. You want to do the outro?
Thank you guys for joining us. We had a very good time for you guys today. Go on all social sites and you can find us at This Won't Last Podcast. Everywhere, man. Everywhere. Go check out Fast 5, Fast 6, Fast 7, Fast 8. Next week we're talking about Fast 7. We want you guys to be right here, getting ready for the Fast 10 or Fast 9.
Fast 9.
He has been the fax machine with all the facts. He has been Bone Line.
Mm-hmm. I'd be online.
I has been the slim one.
The hot boy.
The slim one.
Slim boy.
Thank you guys and enjoy the rest of your week. And check us out.
Bye.